guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a bit of a story time for you. We're going to be going back a few years and I'm going to tell you about my experience with the IMPLANON. And while I had an absolutely terrible experience, what I want to stress is that I'm only trying to get my story out there, what happened to me, my point of view, because I feel like I wasn't properly warned at what could happen to me. So I'm getting my side of the story out, but also later in the video I'm going to bring my friend in and she is going to talk about her experience with the IMPLANON, and her experience has been very different to mine. So I really wanted to get two sides of the spectrum, two opinions, both sides of the story, to make sure that I'm not swaying you one way, and just so you know that just because something happened to me, it might happen to you. You might have a great experience with this type of birth control, but for me it was shocking, and I wasn't told about that. And as much as before you go and decide what kind of birth control you want to use, if you want to use any at all, I used to, before I did this, which was years ago, I was Googling and Googling and Googling, and I didn't really find any information or any articles about the side effects. So this is a video for anyone who might be YouTubing IMPLANON side effects, and you can hear it from a first-hand account, and you can also hear the other hand from my friend who will come in later to the video. So with all of that put aside, again, this is only my personal experience, what happened to me a few years ago. You guys can then make up your own mind, but I have had a lot of friends who have had similar stories to me, and I've also met a few people with similar stories to my friend Michaela. So you guys can just, I guess, just listen and make up your own mind. And if you have had any experience for yourself, please feel free to comment in the comment box below, because maybe if you are YouTubing this video and you're trying to decide if it's best for you, some of those comments down below may help you into making your decision as well. Okay, no further ado, please remember to subscribe and to give this video a big thumbs up, because it helps me and it helps my channel very much. And let's go back. Let's talk a little bit about the IMPLANON. The IMPLANON is a little device. It is about 4 centimeters long by 2 millimeters in diameter, so it's about this long, and it is inserted by your doctor under a general anesthetic, put into your arm. I don't really have the little scar anymore. I don't even know if you'd be able to see it. I don't think the camera's going to even pick it up. But yeah, it's put underneath your skin, and it is in for around 3 or 4 years depending on the device that you have. And basically its function and its purpose is to release a steady flow of progestin, which is a synthetic or man-made hormone, which will in turn prevent an egg from being released from your ovary. This all going successfully will prevent a pregnancy from happening, will prevent an egg from being fertilized by a sperm in what they say is more than 99% of cases. So they say 1 in 100 chance of perhaps getting accidentally pregnant while you do have the IMPLANON in your arm. Now, upon Googling this right now, there are a bunch of side effects that you are told before you go and make your decision to put the IMPLANON in your arm. Some of them include irregular bleeding, depression, weight gain, abdominal pain, acne, breast, back and head pain. And then one of the big bonuses about this form of contraception is that it is quickly reversed. So once you take that IMPLANON out of your arm, your chances of falling pregnant straight away are a lot better than if you are on something like the pill, where it can take quite a while in some cases for people to get their period back and regular. So going into my personal story now, I was on the pill in high school, and I got off the pill when I was about 18. I got a dance contract over in China, and so I moved over there, and at that point my prescription ran out. I was overseas, I didn't need it, so I wasn't taking the pill anymore, and ever since then, when I got back, I just never went on it. So that was my only other form of contraception that I had tried in terms of like medical contraception. Rewind about I think it was about 3 years ago. I had heard a lot about the IMPLANON, and I thought that it might be a good option for me, for my personal reasons at the time. So I did a bit of research, and I decided that I would go and get the IMPLANON put underneath my arm, this arm, not underneath my arm, in my arm. And yeah, so I went to my doctor. They thought I was a healthy, good candidate for the IMPLANON. I wasn't really told much. I was told that for the first 3 months that I could have irregular bleeding. I think a lot of people do kind of bleed and spot irregularly for the first little while, and then I was told that I would adapt to this form of contraception. Now, my whole life I have been a very positive person. I hadn't really experienced any kind of depression or anger. I would call myself a happy-go-lucky kind of person, really easygoing. I would call myself a happy person. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but I'd gotten this IMPLANON put into my arm, and then I had a trip overseas, so I was going overseas. And I just can't even explain to you the shift in my mood, and I didn't notice at the time, I didn't click straight away as to what was going on with me, but I was just starting to fall into this total different headspace. I was so angry, I was so irritable, and I was just feeling so down all the time. And this was something totally different for me, but it wasn't like I just noticed it straight away. It was like I didn't even realize what was going on, and it was more my partner who was saying that I was acting quite differently, like my moods had changed a lot. I was so moody, and I just had this constant feeling like I just wanted to scratch my face off, like just wanted to scratch my face off and rip my skin off, and I was angry and irritable, and anything could make me snap. I was not probably a very fun person to be around on that trip. I feel like anything he said, I would just like pick a fight about it. I would pick everything to pieces, and I was so down and angry, as I've said a few times already. This was totally not me at all. I was spotting all the time, so my period was just kind of like all over the place. I didn't even know what it was doing, and this went on for about 3 months. I was just crying, emotional, and all over the place. So it came to a point that I broke down, and I was saying to him, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I used to be such a happy person. I used to be, you know, so full of energy and excited about life, and right now I just feel so angry all the time. I feel just like I want to itch my face off. I'm irritable. I'm just so angry. Like, I cannot tell you how angry and how different I was. I was a completely different person. Like, completely. It's insane. So I had this kind of breakdown, and at that point I think I kind of realized for the first time, hey, maybe this is because of this thing in my arm, which it is one of the side effects, as I said, depression and mood swings. But unfortunately, my doctor had not warned me really of this and how extreme it could be, so I didn't even click to the fact that it could have been this thing in my arm. And then once I did, I was still away, so I still had to wait a little while before I could get home and get it taken out of my arm, because at that point I was so sure everything had lined up with the timing of me getting this thing to my emotions going fucking AWOL crazy. And and I decided, okay, nah, this isn't for me. I'm going to get this thing taken out of my arm. So I got home, I went to the doctor. After a fair bit of digging around, it took him. He couldn't get it out, and he kept saying, oh, I nearly got it. Oops, I lost it. Oops. And it was driving me crazy. I was just like, get it out of my arm. After he did get it out of my arm, you get a little stitch, and then off you go back to your own life. And it was almost immediate. Like, it's hard for me to say that the switch in my mind wasn't just because I knew it was out and I knew that it was it was over, but it was night and day the way that I felt, and especially that irritability of me wanting to like just scratch my face off. It was night and day when I got that thing taken out of my arm to the past 3 or 4 months that I'd had with it in my arm, and that emotional roller coaster that I was on. And our hormones are such an important part of everything that goes on in our body. So everything from our mood is affected by our hormones. And when, for me, I hadn't been on anything for a very long time, any kind of hormonal, any kind of thing that would alter my hormones at all, and it's like the minute I put this thing in my body, it was crazy. So I really knew myself, and I knew myself on a natural rhythm, and the minute these synthetic hormones and alterations that I was doing to my body and its natural way came in, it just went crazy. And I can't even explain to you how crazy I went and how down that I felt. And that is why I think that this, for some people, not for everyone, could be very dangerous. And I think it's just really important to know, if you are going to try it, that you know that this is a side effect, and it's not necessarily you feeling down and depressed about your life and anxious. So you need to know, you need to be able to recognize that. I think you should be able to recognize that it is potentially just a side effect of this thing in your arm. Know that maybe it's not working for you, and get it taken out and you'll feel back to normal, because I feel like it could be so dangerous for young girls who are putting these things into their arms. Young girls who don't know themselves, don't know how that they should feel normally, and then they go and put these rods in their arms, don't realize how it can affect their moods and the way that they feel about themselves and everything that's going on around them. I think that that is so dangerous, and that's why I've made this video, because this doesn't happen to everyone. This type of contraception is great for a lot of people. A lot of people have a fantastic time and love it, and that's awesome. But this is mainly for people who are about to try it, or who are trying it and might be feeling a bit off and not themselves. It's just about knowing that this is a potential side effect of this particular form of contraception, so that you can recognize that in yourself. You can learn to watch out for it, and so you don't go and do something stupid, because I have heard some sad stories about people who think that it has led to some people doing horrible things to themselves. So it's just about me telling my story, so that if you're about to try it, or if you're on it, just to look out for those symptoms for yourself. I was lucky enough to be able to recognize them in myself and to take action, get it out, and I went back to normal again. I felt happy. Those horrible feelings went away really quickly. So I'm not saying not to try it. I'm not saying that it's going to happen to you. I'm just telling you what happened to me, and now I'm going to let my other friend tell you about her story. But yeah, this is what happened to me. It sent me absolutely crazy. Now I'm not on anything. I'm never going to mess with my hormones again while I don't have to. And yeah. That's my story. So this is my friend Michaela. She has come with a little bit of a different story to me, so I'm going to let her take it away and tell us about her experience with IMPLANON, and also with Mick, because she is like so fit and lean. You can actually see the IMPLANON a little bit under her arm, so we will show you that as well after. But yeah,
beautiful. Alright, so my experience was really different to Ash's. I've actually had mine for, this will be the 7th year. I literally just got it probably about a few weeks ago, put it back in. So you have to get it re-put in every 3 years. So this is the 3rd one. Basically it's super simple. You just have to buy a new one and they just reinsert it. And when we show you, you'll see that you can see the little stitch marks. Basically I originally had it about 7 years ago for contraception reasons. Had no issues besides spotting for like the first few months, which was a little bit frustrating. But after that and since then, I just don't get my period anymore. Some would say that's bad, but after speaking to the doctors and everything like that, they say that that's quite normal, and a lot of people don't get their period after a certain amount of time. So yeah, so other than that, I've had no emotional issues, no weight gain or moodiness or anything like that. So I've been really lucky. So yeah, so far so good.
Michaela's like literally the happiest person you'll ever meet, like ever. So she's like the polar opposite of my experience.
Totally different.
But yeah, it just goes to show that
everyone's body sort of reacts to it differently.
Yeah, everybody's different, and it's just something to look out for if you are going to go on this, just to be aware that it could be the reason you're feeling like that, and yeah, just to be aware of your body and your emotions. You can see this is where it's gone in for Mick, and from here to here, this spot, can you kind of move it around? Yeah, so you guys might be able to vaguely make that out of where the actual implanon is, and that's where it ends, where her finger is there. Yeah. It's like some kind of crazy alien thing in there, hey?
Yeah, it's like a matchstick.
Yeah, it is like a matchstick.
True.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mick.
Good job.
So yeah guys, look after each other, love your friends, take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and we will see you in the next video.